Call 644-6483 today.
Think young, Rodney D. Young.
You were witness to a murder, and we'd like you to come back and testify.
Between life
I don't think you realize the situation you're in.
and death.
I'll take my chances.
Between a witness
Do you really think you can get her off this train?
and a victim
This is my life we're dealing with.
lies a narrow margin.
How do we stop him?
We don't.
Gene Hackman, Ann Archer, Narrow Margin, rated R.
Starts soon at a theater near you. What's new at the Museum of Fine Arts? This is a rebroadcast of tonight's Channel 11 News 10 o'clock report.
KHOU TV, Houston. And now, from 11 News in Houston, Steve Smith, Marlene McClinton, Dr. Neil Frank with weather, and Gib Nielsen on sports. This is KHOU 11 News at 10.
It's a mockery of human decency to call these people guests. They are hostages, and the whole world knows it.
An angry President George Bush tonight lashing out at Iraq's Saddam Hussein. The president tells the Congress and the nation Saddam will fail. Good evening, everybody. Marlene has the night off. The president tonight vowed to stand firm in the Persian Gulf, to stand firm until Iraqi troops pull out of Kuwait. 11 News reporter Jim Moore is in the nation's capital tonight and has late reaction on what the president had to say. Jim?
Steve, Saddam Hussein may not sleep well tonight after this speech, but neither will the people who are writing the U.S. budget problems. They also are having to deal with this, and for them, this speech leaves a few questions unanswered.
If applause and popularity could solve a problem, George Bush and America would have it made. But they don't. It takes big money and big guns and big talk.
Iraq will not be permitted to annex Kuwait. And that's not a threat, not a boast. It's just the way it's going to be.
The president's #1 subject was the Iraqi invasion of Kuwait, and he set the audience up properly with a heart-wrenching Ronald Reagan trick, reading a letter from a soldier who wrote home, Wade Merritt.
But Wade also wrote, I am proud of my country and its firm stance against inhumane aggression. I am proud of my army and its men. I am proud to serve my country. Well, let me just say, Wade, America is proud of you and is grateful to every soldier, sailor, Marine, and airman serving the cause of peace in the Persian Gulf.
The president made it clear that those young people might end up fighting over oil.
We cannot permit a resource so vital to be dominated by one so ruthless, and we won't.
For the first time, Mr. Bush also hinted at the skeleton of a national energy policy, one that could increase drilling in Texas and all over the U.S., and in a delicate Alaska wildlife refuge.
These measures should include my proposals to increase incentives for domestic oil and gas exploration, fuel switching, and to accelerate the development of the Alaskan energy resources without damage to wildlife.
Mr. Bush was less clear on the budget deficit. He called for $500 billion in cuts, but he was not specific, and his predisposition to help the oil business in Texas has grown tiresome to some Midwesterners.
That part of the speech dealing with balancing the budget, in my opinion, I thought was irresponsible. It didn't come up with the positive answers that we need. Talked about giving special tax benefits to his cronies in Texas and Oklahoma and the oil fields. Talked about a number of other tax giveaways, but didn't talk about how we're going to balance the budget and where the money's going to come from.
But one thing this speech does mean is that the president will have to break a key election promise, Steve. He's going to have to increase taxes, and he's finally willing to admit that.
Well, saying the budget needs to be balanced doesn't make it happen. Jim, any indications tonight there in the Capitol that anybody is prepared to budge on either side?
No, all he talked about was $500 billion in cuts. The Congress has to do it. They're going to do it. It was more of a rah-rah speech than anything specific in terms of details. We hope those will come out tomorrow, Steve.
But maybe send a message to Saddam Hussein. Thank you, Jim. Southwest Houston women are being warned tonight to be careful. A rapist is on the loose, a masked rapist. 6 recent assaults have happened in the same vicinity. The victims lived in apartment complexes. Women who live in the area say they're frightened. DeWanda Edwards says she's stopped going home without her husband.
If he gotten off that night, and I did too, I would drive all the way to his job, which he works off 290, and we would just drive home together in 2 vehicles because I was just afraid.
Police describe the rapist as a tall black male about 6'4", with a medium to stocky build. He wears a ski mask and he may carry a weapon. Well, she's being called a miracle baby tonight. A newborn girl is in fair condition now in Katy after she was discovered abandoned in a garbage bag along a roadside. Our Dave Failing says the baby's life has taken a turn for the better.
Oh, it's okay, honey.
This 6-pound, day-and-a-half-old baby girl is the talk of Katy.
Everybody just wants to come in and see her and talk to her, and they want to hold her. And
it's really just struck a nerve with everybody that everybody just feels a lot of compassion toward the baby.
Aside from dozens of ant bites, she looks and sounds like a normal newborn, but it's a wonder she's alive at all. Waller County police say the baby was born along a desolate country road. They say the 18-year-old mother told them she thought the baby was dead, so she left it in a garbage bag along the road and drove away. 12 hours later, Deputy Joe Trim found the newborn. He'd talked with the mother, but had only a vague idea where to look and assumed the baby would be dead.
As I was approaching the bag, I saw the bag moving. At that time, I determined the child was still alive. I cut the bag open. The baby was covered with ants.
Another deputy ran for his car, and together they rushed the baby to Katy Medical Center.
As long as I knew if it kept on crying, we had a chance. That's all I knew. It was crying the whole way there. And
the baby came in and it was cold, it was dirty. The cord had not been tied, and there was the possibility that it was a probability that the baby would have hemorrhaged to death. And this was just a miracle baby.
Here, don't upset you. There we go.
The immediate threat to the baby is infections from the ant bites. Long-term, doctors worry what psychological damage has been done, what effect there will be from spending her first 12 hours in a garbage bag all alone. But now, the nurses like Nancy Pickett are determined to make it up to her.
And we're going to give her a lot of good, loving care while she's here. She has about 4 names. Agnes, Cecilia, Marie, and then some people are calling her Katy.
That last one just might stick. In Katy, Dave Failing, 11 News.
By the way, Dave, tell us those patches over the baby's eyes. They're simply to help protect the child's identity. The baby's mother is Christina Stilts. She's charged with abandoning a child and endangering its life. Police say they expect to charge a 60-year-old Houston man with attempted murder of a police officer. Officers say they went to a southeast Houston home on information cocaine was being sold there. They say Clarence Bush was sitting on a bed holding a gun. They say he raised the gun and 2 officers shot him. Bush is the brother of Madge Bush. She runs the Martin Luther King Center, owns the house police raided. She's been outspoken about drug problems. She insists her brother couldn't be involved in dealing.
That they're going to have to start being accountable for doors they kick in and properties they tear up. And they means the police.
Well, tonight, police searched the house for narcotics. They say they found drug equipment and powder cocaine. And tonight, Harris County deputies say they don't know if they are faced with a satanic cult that uses human body parts or a drug ring or maybe both. 11 News reporter Michael Barnes tells us the 2 men being questioned claim it's one big misunderstanding.
I don't know what to think. I don't know whether to leave or stay or what.
Residents like this Mission Bend woman are both scared and puzzled about what's going on in their neighborhood. So are Harris County deputies. They raided this house thinking it was a drop-off point for a major drug ring. Inside they found some drugs and drug paraphernalia, but they also made a gruesome discovery.
We also did find a skeletal remain of an arm, which we're feeling at this time could possibly be a human arm.
The medical examiner later confirmed the remains found in this southwest neighborhood are human, so they're now conducting a homicide investigation here. Roberto Rodriguez is one of 2 men who live in the house police raided. He declined an on-camera interview, but he admitted he practiced a religious ceremony called Santeria, involving animal sacrifices. He says the arm wasn't human, it was bought at a flea market. Neighborhood kids confirmed some of the strange goings-on.
And through these 2 front windows right here,
you see red lights and like blood was on the wall and like people were smearing stuff on the wall. And all they had was candles and no lamps.
And parents say their greatest concern is protecting their children.
You hope that, you know, it doesn't draw any children to that house. And that's the main concern, is that everybody keep their eye on their children.
Meanwhile, the Harris County Sheriff's Department says it will be back here again on Wednesday with a search warrant. They'll look through the house and possibly dig up the yard looking for clues. Michael Barnes, 11 News.
Making Houston streets safe again. Coming up, an effort to keep lawbreakers, behind bars. Cooler and likely wetter weather is on the horizon. Neil's in with more on the cloudy forecast. And the grand old warhorse of a musical hits town, and the wind goes whistling on the Oklahoma plain once again.
Everybody's talking about the Dan Boone Autoplex on the Gulf Freeway, and they're doing it on a free cellular telephone.
I got a new Lumina APV loaded for just $12,999 and a cellular telephone for free.
Dan Boone prices his short wheelbase extended cabs from under $12,000, and it includes a free cellular phone.
There is a difference with Dan Boone. He'll meet or beat any price in Houston and throw in a cellular telephone for free. The Dan Boone Autoplex on the Gulf Freeway at Southbelt. Come see what everyone's talking about.
Today, Robert Hernandez, an HL&P meter reader, will encounter 9 ferocious animals, 3 ninja warriors, and 10 booby traps. But he's more concerned about an 80-year-old woman whose home needs repair.
Looks like you use some help.
My window needs fixing.
Robert is part of the Gatekeeper program, designed to keep an eye out for the elderly.
He says an agency may be able to help me with the repairs. I didn't think anybody cared.
Gatekeepers. Because at the Light Company, we care. We bake pearls made of denture material in this blueberry pie to prove how powerfully Efferdent, America's leading denture cleanser, removes this tough stain, even in between. Efferdent, stronger than stains.
For the itch and pain of bug bites and allergic rashes, even the strongest hydrocortisone can't give you the same kind of relief you get from Benadryl cream, because it stops the pain and blocks itch right where it starts. Benadryl cream and spray.
Driving after a few drinks is crazy. Be a safe driver. Don't wreck your life.
That new and badly needed new probation office the county wants to establish, well, it will not be at Highway 290 at Gessner. A storm of protest killed this latest county plan. Seemed a perfect site for a probation office, an empty Northwest Houston building. The neighbors said they were worried about the kind of people who would be coming through that building. They appeared at Commissioner's Court today, loaded for bear, but they never had a chance to be heard before the commissioners because the county voted to cancel the plan.
There is a concern out in the community about what's happening. We don't have a solution to it. No one does at this point in time.
Carry that a step further. This is the second proposed site voted down because of community protests. And now the county is going to have to look somewhere else and try again. After several recent painful examples of paroled prisoners being accused of gruesome crimes, some people are organizing to try to keep dangerous felons behind bars in Texas. Norm Yule reports tonight a veteran of the MAD, War Against Drunk Driving, is taking on this new task.
June 27th, police officer James Irby is shot down in cold blood. A parolee is charged. September 5th, a 22-year-old woman dies after being shot in the head and then run over with her own car. The suspect is also on parole. September 10th, HPD arrests a robbery suspect who laughs at the prison system and vows he'll be back to a life of crime soon. These are just the early release nightmares you've heard about recently. Marynell Timmons of the Victims Assistance Center deals with cases every day that don't make the news.
We're working with a lady that was sexually assaulted, was beaten very badly. The man was convicted of attempted murder, sent to prison. He got out, he looked her up, he did the same thing to her again, causing real serious injuries. He's back in TDC. He was sentenced in February. And we've already gotten a letter that he's being reviewed for parole.
Timmons and former Harris County Assistant Prosecutor Randy Burton think it's time to tell the legislature that enough's enough. So they formed a citizens group to lobby for change. They say the immediate problem is not enough prison space. That's led to a broader power for the parole board to release felons early. Burton says 80% of the felons reviewed for parole each week are released.
When you cut that many people loose, you have to be turning dangerous criminals loose onto the streets. Unfortunately, more of them are ending up in Harris County than any other place.
Burton hopes the new citizens response group will be able to convince the legislature to take action. He's concerned that if the state doesn't act, we'll see more citizens taking the law into their own hands. Norm Ewell, 11 News.
Well, it's Neil's birthday, and there's a weather change. You think there's a connection between the two?
I don't know, but there might be. You know, cooler today, no question about it. And there was some rain, and some of that rain was heavy. We'll talk about it when we come back.
Out here, you never know where something itchy or rashy is going to get you. But with new Caladril spray, you can spray the itch away and never have to touch the rash. Ooh, that feels good. Honey, why don't we...
New Caladril spray. Allergies itch, make your nose run, make you miserable. You need Signatab allergy formula for frequent sufferers. It works for 12 full hours to help stop the itching, the sneezing. Signatab allergy helps stop it all.
Before you choose a body shop, ask a few questions. What about structural tolerances? Can they really return your car to pre-accident performance? Will your car look as good as new? What about experience? Have they repaired over 5 million cars? And do they back their word? In writing? If you don't know, you better get Mako.
When you buy your new Ford from Mac Haik, drive it for a month. If you don't fall in love with it, we'll take it back. Your new Mac Haik Ford has to be the one you want, or you can apply the full purchase price on any other car or truck that Mac Haik sells. We've got the price you want, the people you'll like, and the service you expect. Mac Haik and Ford. Satisfaction guaranteed, and we put it in writing.
You can't fake the feeling, that great Mac Haik feeling.
We'll give you 80,000 people, 8 million miles a week. We'll give you hearts that beat deep purple and a whole new way to speak.
We're the best way to ship it over there. From the dawn through the night, we're in the air. We carry confidence across the continent. We're the best way to ship it over there.
Cloudy and cool out there tonight. Would you believe temperatures in the mid-70s? And it was a cool day today after seeing light and variable winds, some 5 to 10 miles an hour. In this afternoon, we only had low 80s, the second day in a row now that we've been cool after a 32-day period of heat with temperatures above normal. 83 degrees at Intercontinental is 7 degrees below normal. 82 down on the island is 4 degrees below normal. And the reason it was cool is because we had a lot of rain and a lot of clouds today. Let's turn on the radar at about 8 o'clock this morning. Of course, big rain over Louisiana, rain to the southwest, but watch this north-south line that forms around College Station, becomes better organized, moves right through the center of the city around midday, and then it looked like we might see some more rain tonight as we're beginning to see things form there, but they're weakening some, and even though there's light rain, we don't see any severe thunderstorms at the present time. Did get some good rain today, 3.5 inches at Baytown, Bel Air, and Bay City. Both came in with over 2 inches. A number of places reported over an inch, including Aldine, Westbury, and on down on the island. And here you can see the reason for that is we have a low pressure system in the upper part of the atmosphere, and with the clouds associated with that, 80s to the west and even 70s at Waco and Dallas today. But notice this big area of thunderstorms off of Brownsville. In addition to this low in the upper part of the atmosphere, we think maybe we're seeing evidence of a tropical low forming here. We can see that by putting the radar into motion from Brownsville now, for past several hours. Now, it's kind of jerky, but if you watch carefully, you'll see these rain showers moving to the south, these moving to the north, defining a low-pressure system off the coast. And, folks, if this low goes ahead and strengthens and develops some and moves north, we could be measuring our rainfall tomorrow in terms of inches. So we'll be watching this one very closely. And we can see how it develops through the eyes of the satellite. Again, as we put the satellite pictures in motion for the last 24 hours, watch the clouds here move to the south. These clouds move to the north, defining that low-pressure system in the upper part of the atmosphere that is giving us all the problem. And here you see the heavier showers on the coast. A big high to the east, or a big mountain of air. It was hot underneath that mountain, a little cooler in the northeast behind the front, and very hot out west where we have another big mountain of air and record-breaking temperatures, 112 in Phoenix and 90s all the way to the coast. And in the valley, the air is spilling off the mountains down into the valley where it's squeezing, and that squeezing is causing showers, and those showers are going to stay around tomorrow, and we'll watch very carefully to see if those showers are going to be very heavy as this low moves up. So our forecast is a wet one, 50% chance of showers yet tonight and in the morning. Then tomorrow afternoon we'll be in the mid to upper 80s and a 70% chance of rain, and that could be heavy. And then by the weekend I think we'll dry out a little bit. But we may have a pretty good area of rain tomorrow. See, we're going to be watching that.
Your folks knew exactly what they were doing, having you right in the middle of the height of the hurricane season, didn't they?
That's right.
Thank you, Neil. Federal investigators have ruled on what caused an explosion in the Gulf of Mexico last fall. A fishing boat hit a natural gas pipeline in October. 11 people were killed then. The National Transportation Safety Board says the pipeline was not buried deeply enough on the floor of the Gulf. It says the gas company failed to check the depth of the pipeline. The Safety Board also says the Office of Pipeline Safety should have inspected the submerged pipeline. In business news, a quiet day on Wall Street. The Dow fell 3 points, closing at 2,613. Volume on the trading floor was light, 113 million shares. In oil futures, West Texas crude ended the day slipping more than $0.50. Oil prices settled at $30.76 a barrel. And now, for those inclined toward such things, and with the bank account to back up their inclinations, it's the Neiman Marcus Christmas catalog. The fancy department store has been offering unusual gifts in its annual catalog for 30 years now. This Christmas, how about a gift not only for the person who has everything, but for the dog who has everything? Pooch Palace, with its own ball thrower, $3,200. Neiman's also offers photo chairs. They are called chairpersons, aren't they cute? Life-size photos are turned into chairs. Well, you have to be there, actually, to appreciate this one. It's $6,000. You supply the picture, too. Neiman's Christmas book is going out across the country now. The Alders are already forgetting about Sunday, setting their sights on Pittsburgh now. When we come back, Gift is next with Alders quarterback Warren Moon as we begin another year of Inside the Huddle.
I'm Tim Paulson, Vice President of the Hair Club for Men, and of course, I'm also a client. Like these men, I called Hair Club's toll-free number requesting their informative booklet about thinning hair. Probably the best call I ever made. Inside was everything you need to know about hair replacement, including this complete objective bibliography. You'll learn about toupees, weaves, transplants, the misconceptions of minoxidil, as well as Hair Club's non-surgical strand-by-strand method, which adds ideally matched top-quality human hair to your own hair. In no time, you have a natural-looking head of hair that lets you lead a worry-free, active lifestyle. No chemicals, no surgery, yet it feels like a part of you. And the price is based on your degree of hair loss. Remember, if you want more facts, free and without obligation, you can call this toll-free number for your booklet. No salesman will call you. Consultations are free.
And remember, I personally guarantee your satisfaction. I'm Cy Sperling, and I'm not only the Hair Club president, but I'm also a client.
Ron Trust Chevrolet in Baytown is the used car superstore of the Southwest. An unbelievable inventory of late model, low mileage used cars and trucks. Look at this 89 Bonneville, fully loaded. This 88 Pontiac 6000, just $49.75. This loaded Cadillac DeVille, only $29.50. This 88 Plymouth Reliant, just $4,800. This Nissan Sentra, automatic and low miles. Ron Trust Chevrolet, 3401 North Main in Baytown.
Shoes. Everybody's gotta have shoes. But if they're priced too steep or they look too cheap, chances are you're gonna get the blues.
Hi, I'm George Zimmer, president of the Men's Warehouse, and now I'm doing for shoes what I do for men's clothing. We have quality, famous maker shoes for a lot less than you'd expect to pay somewhere else. I guarantee it.
Shoes. The Men's Warehouse has shoes.
Well, mid-September, the Astros' role has been reduced to spoilers, and they had a chance to help some folks out tonight, taking on the division-leading Cincinnati Reds. Mike Scott out with a soreness on his right side, so Jimmy DeShay's got the call. Bottom of the fourth, 2 on and 2 out. The Reds' Chris Sable with a drive in the gap to right center. 2 runs are in, but Sable tries for a double. Is tagged out by Rafael Ramirez when he overslides the bag. The Reds lead 4-1. Glenn Davis then cuts the lead to 4-3 with a 2-run blast in the 5th, his 21st home run. And how about former Astro Billy Dorn? Against his old mates, rips one to center. Watch him. Former Longhorn standout Billy Bates scores from second, making it 5-3. That's Billy ball, folks. Jim DeShay's the loss is the final from Riverfront. The Reds 5, the Astros 3. Pittsburgh stays 3.5 ahead of in the National League East by beating Philadelphia. New York can't pick up any ground tonight as even though they win, Chicago scored 10 runs in the second inning as the Cubs beat Montreal. Los Angeles losing to San Diego, and Atlanta scoreless with San Francisco. American League, the New York Yankees win by 1 over Texas. Detroit slips by Baltimore. Milwaukee doubles Boston. It was Cleveland 4, Chicago 3. Toronto doubling Kansas City. Oakland shutting out Seattle. And Minnesota down by 2 to California. That game in the second. Well, a short week for the University of Houston Cougars as they open up their Southwest Conference schedule Thursday night against Texas Tech. The Cougars are coming off Saturday's overwhelming victory over Nevada, Las Vegas. Quarterback David Klingler showed a great deal of poise as he racked up 426 yards passing, 5 touchdowns. But Cougars head coach John Jenkins knows the Red Raiders will be a tougher battle.
You know, it's going to take some superior play on our part, and if we get it from our front there, it could be a great game for us. If Texas Tech's offensive line prevails, it's going to be an all-night fight.
I hope that we'll be ready, and like I said, like I've been having nightmares all week already. I've been trying to go to bed early, and I end up staying up till like 2 o'clock in the morning if I see a defensive lineman or something in my mind.
By the way, Thursday's game is at 7 o'clock to accommodate the national television audience. We'll be back with Oiler quarterback Warren Moon as we go inside the huddle after this.
If I could help the helpless, if I could stop the rain, if I could comfort the old, cure the sick, if I could reach out and ease the pain, if I could make the whole world see the spirit inside of me, I am the spirit of Texas. If I could teach the children, if I could turn the tide, if I could open the doors and find a way to reach out and share the prize, if I could make the whole world see the spirit inside of me, I'm the spirit of Texas. That's me.
Well, Warren, back for another season. We appreciate you being here with us. Before we leave this Atlanta situation, your former coach Jerry Glanville saying some very uncharacteristic things, I guess, for most people, but that doesn't play very well.
No, and if you just have to know Jerry, that's just the way he is, and he doesn't have a lot of class, and I think when I go out of this league, that's one of the things I want to be known for is having class and having respect, and those are 2 things I don't think he's going to go out of this league with because wins and losses don't mean that much. It's how you remember it in the game.
Let's talk a little bit about the blitz situation. Everybody's talking about the blitz situation. Let's draw this thing up and show you how Andre Bruce was all by himself as he came in and continued to pound you in that first quarter.
Well, basically, when you have a 4 wide receiver offense, you can only block 6 people, and what they were doing is they were sending 7 people, and it makes it tough. That leaves 1 man always free, so the 7th man is basically up to me, and I'm the guy that has the blocking. So you have all these guys that are blocking the guys that are covering them, the center taking the nose tackle, the guard taking the backer, the tackle taking the end, and then the running back takes the guy off the corner that's coming. But the backside guy right here, number 93, this is the one that was always free the other day. When I roll out to throw to the right, I have to get rid of the football before he gets to me. And A couple of times he got to me before I got rid of the ball. A couple of times we got the ball away, and I threw 3 touchdowns against the blitz, but there were a few times he got to me just as I was throwing the football. So it's something that, you know, they're gonna win a few, and sometimes they're gonna lose a few.
Are there times where you're going to roll all the way outside and try and get outside, just kind of in a foot race against that back guy?
Right, depending on the type of play we had called. Like I threw a touchdown to Bernard Ford later in the game, and it was a full rollout, and I did throw the ball and got it off, but just as I threw the ball, I actually got hit in the back on that play too. So against the blitz, you know you're going to get hit, but the key is to get rid of the ball because it's one-on-one coverage with everyone in the secondary.
Quickly, Pittsburgh this week. Can you rebound?
I really think we can. I think our team knows what we did wrong in that game. We know we can't turn the ball over early in the ball game. We just have to sustain a drive, make something happen early, and I think the best team will show once it's all over, and hopefully get a little help from the referees.
Okay, we appreciate you being in here, and of course we're going to talk, Steve, more about this on Quarterback Corner. That's coming up on Friday night at 10:30. More on that Steeler game. It's going to be an exciting game. The Oilers should do well.
If Warren keeps getting hit like he did last Sunday, it's going to be a long season for you, my friend. A long
I'm telling you.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Coming up, Oklahoma comes to Texas.
It's time for the Pasadena Livestock Show and Rodeo's 8th Annual World Championship Barbecue Cook-Off at the Pasadena Fairgrounds, September 14th, 15th, and 16th. Over 125 cooking teams competing in barbecue chicken, ribs, brisket, and beans. Lots of fun for all, including a beauty contest, dances both Friday and Saturday night, carnival rides, and games. Don't miss out on all the fun. For more information, please call 487-0240.
I haven't got time to breathe, let alone wait 2 weeks for new glasses. And nurse said to me, "Where do you get your hair done?" I said, "At the mall." She said, "Why not go to LensCrafters?"
LensCrafters crafts your quality glasses in about an hour by putting the whole lab right in the store so you can see better and get more done in about an hour.
By the time my hair was done, my beautiful glasses were done.
LensCrafters, custom-crafted eyeglasses in about an hour. 3 locations, including Westheimer and Wilcrest and Baybrook Mall.
Everybody's talking about the Dan Boone Autoplex on the Gulf Freeway, and they're doing it on a free cellular telephone.
I love my new Dan Boone Mitsubishi, and I love the price I paid for it, and I love the free cellular telephone that came with it.
90 Monteros fully loaded start at $14,295 with a free cellular phone.
There is a difference with Dan Boone. He'll meet or beat any price in Houston and throw in a cellular telephone for free. The Dan Boone Autoplex on the Gulf Freeway at South Belt. Come see what everyone's talking about.
We bake pearls made of denture material in this blueberry pie to prove how powerfully Efferdent, America's leading denture cleanser, removes this tough stain, even in between. Efferdent, stronger than stains.
Allergies itch, make your nose run, make you miserable. You need Cyanotab allergy formula for frequent sufferers. It works for 12 full hours to help stop the itching, the sneezing. Cyanotab allergy helps stop it all.
We hope you'll join Sandy Rivera and Janet Shamlian for 11 News at 6 in the morning. They'll update the situation in the Persian Gulf. They'll be covering overnight developments, along with offering weather and traffic updates on 11 News, 6 a.m. And finally tonight, an old classic musical makes its way back to Houston. Theater Under the Stars is opening its new season with the Rodgers and Hammerstein musical Oklahoma, as in Oklahoma, okay. Singer John Davidson plays one of the leads. He's Curly. He gets to sing one of the most famous songs in the show. This national tour marks the anniversary of statehood for Oklahoma. The show runs through the 23rd at the Music Hall downtown. And that's it for now. We hope you have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.
When your heart is set on that one special car, come to Mack Hike Chevrolet. No other dealer makes this promise. Drive it for a month. If you don't fall in love with it, we'll take it back. And you can apply the full purchase price on any other car or truck that Mack Hike sells. There's only one Chevy First Team dealer in Houston where you get satisfaction, guaranteed, Mack Hike Chevrolet. And we put it in writing.
You can't fake the feeling, that great Mack Hike feeling.
At I.W. Marks Jewelers, we travel the world to bring you the finest quality loose diamonds at prices that save you money. We are direct diamond importers, and we eliminate the middlemen and pass the savings on to you. IW Marks has the largest selection of loose diamonds in the Southwest in every size, shape, and price range. Always priced to save you money. If you're interested in a loose diamond, you must come by and see us at IW Marks. We're at 3841 Bel Air Boulevard, inside Loop 610.
We bake pearls made of denture material in this blueberry.